Hello and welcome back to another episode of Beerly Out of Bounds. It's your boys Zane and Zach. Zach and Zane, really. Coming at you again, talking about all things golf. We got a lot to talk about. We've taken some time off. But we're back, and we're back with a vengeance. How we doing tonight, Zane?
I'm doing good. It's just so funny. We've taken time off. Somebody's been trying to get this podcast back on the rails for quite some time now, and somebody's been like stonewalling me at every turn.
So yeah, it's almost like
he's taking his Beerly football so much more serious than his Beerly.
Okay, so first off, I've been taking my actual golf more serious, and then also every time we set up to do one of these episodes, Zane's like, "Okay, 5 minutes." 38 minutes later, Zane's ready to go. Finally,
that's baloney. That happened tonight. But that does not happen every time.
We were going to record Tuesday, and I didn't have my laptop charger. I had left it at work. So we're doing it right now. Monday.
Set you free.
Monday we were going to record, but I left my laptop charger at work. So we're recording today, Wednesday, August 7th. How you doing, Zane?
I'm doing great. I'm just excited to be finally back on the Beerly Out of Bounds podcast where we can drink beer and talk about golf. I don't know why it takes so long to get people involved in this. You know what I mean? It's like it's Zach's like, man, he's struggling. He's gonna go ahead for that Beerly football, but man, it's a struggle bus getting him on the Beerly OB.
Hey man, I'm a busy guy. I got a lot of things to do.
Yeah, you are. Busy guy.
What are you drinking tonight, Zane?
I am drinking 37 felonies in a shot. 34 felonies in a shot by Free State of Smith. Cheers to
is that actually the name?
It is 34 felonies in a shot. It's got a shot. It was brewed with a shot of Tito's vodka in it. And it is not for purchase, but there will be a parody commercial coming out about it soon. So
are you making that parody commercial?
Me and Dad are going to make that parody commercial.
Gotcha.
It's going to star Dad in it, obviously. I don't want that. I don't want to be associated with that kind of stuff, obviously.
Alrighty. This is available for purchase. It's an Odd Story Brewing Company Polish Pilsner named the Basilisk. A very cool can. I'm not sure if you're going to be able to see it up there.
Mm-hmm.
But actually, let me go red. You'll be able to see it a little bit better there. Basilisk. It's got a really cool design on the can. Big fan of this one. Nice light Pilsner to get the day started. So,
nothing wrong with a light Pilsner.
Nothing wrong with a light Pilsner. That's always been my opinion. You know what else there's nothing wrong with, Zane?
What, Zach? I bet you're going to tell me.
There's nothing wrong, absolutely zero wrong with supporting your favorite golf show podcast by going in the link in the description to check out the merch store at beerlysports.creatorspring.com. This is the snapback we got, the Golfing Beerly Boy, Beerly OB podcast, established 2023. Look at that beautiful hat.
It's gorgeous.
I'm a big fan of the maroon. Or no, not the maroon. I'm a big fan of the red one.
You like the red one?
I like the red. I like the red or the heather gray.
Heather gray is hands down my favorite thing to wear.
I do like the red one though.
No, come on, it's a little.
You got that red, white, and blue American spirit going on.
Okay, maybe for 4th of July, but that's about it. Maybe for Memorial Day, but no, it's just a little too gaudy for me. I never wear. I mean, you know this. I never really wear red, so there's that. But anyway.
But I feel like if you had a white shirt, that hat would work. That hat would be solid.
Oh, I think you're right. Yeah, absolutely.
Like a white shirt with like navy accents in it, maybe, and that red hat would be kind of
100%.
But yeah, make sure you go check that out. We also got t-shirts, hoodies, all kinds of stuff on the site. So make sure you check that out. Planning on doing some more stuff with it in the future, but that's all for now on that. I'm trying to get blue. Okay. Shout out to the USA taking down gold medals, baby. Gold medals making it rain gold.
USA.
Scotty Scheffler and Nelly Corda. Scotty Scheffler, Nelly Korda snagging those gold medals at the Olympics in Paris. Who were you more impressed by, Scotty Scheffler or Nelly Korda?
I'm going to be honest. I'm less impressed by the guys, just because there was a lot of people that weren't able to be involved because they used OWGR points. I don't know if anybody knows that. They didn't use any of the live tournaments to choose people to play in the Olympics. So I was much more impressed on the female side with Nelly. Especially because there are so many good girls now. Like they're always fighting at the top for those top 3 spots. So that,
Sure.
I mean, it's so much harder for the girls right now to win because there is no second league. There is no second tour. There is no people on the outside looking in, which would be live in this case. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
What about you? Do you think Scheffler was more impressive or Nelly?
I think Scheffler's more impressive just simply because of the comeback. I mean,
really?
he got on fire on day 4, man. He fired, what was it, 63?
But
62?
Arguably the best golfer in the world is not there playing for the USA. Arguably, it's between the two, but arguably his top rival, as far as like performance in these kind of things, was not there, and so that's a big issue. I take issue with that.
I understand that part of it, but I was really impressed with the comeback. I don't think that's a crazy opinion to have.
Yeah.
I mean, coming back from that far behind is something that's tough to do. I don't care what field you're playing against, and and I did have the field conversation with some people, because some people are saying like this is a tough field, like, and I was like, not really. I mean, because they were like, well, it's the best 3 players from every country. It's like, yes, the top of the leaderboard looks good, but if you look toward the bottom of the leaderboard, you're going to see a lot of names that you probably never heard of before.
Sure.
And that's and the reason is because unlike the Masters, the Players Championship, all that, a lot of American golfers are really, really good at golf. And there's a lot of good golfers from everywhere else, but specifically American, because the American scene's so big.
Sure.
Having like the top 3 players from, I don't know, India is going to decrease the strength of field. Having the top 3 players from China is going to decrease the strength of field. Having the top 3 players from Russia, from Germany, it's going to decrease the strength of field because there's guys that are better than them that are not playing in the event.
And this is why I personally, and again, I know this isn't a winning argument. I know that it is going to be slammed by people watching this. I feel like bring back amateur golf. Like, have it be amateurs playing in the Olympics. The problem with it being the way it is and why it's not impressive for, say, a Scotty Scheffler is because USA is so dominant and so heavily favored on the world stage in golf. That's why it's less impressive. With girls, it's a little different because you have like Shen Feng was world number 1 for so long. She's Chinese. You had New Zealand with Lydia Ko. She was world number 1 for a long time. You got Nelly Korda, US. It's a lot more global on the girl side of things than the guy side of things. And that makes it a lot more impressive whenever they win versus the guys win on the US Olympic stage. Again, don't mean to take this away from Scotty Scheffler. It is impressive. It's a great win. It's awesome. And it was great seeing him get emotional whenever the national anthem plays. I love seeing that patriotic stuff. It gets the blood going, you know?
Yeah.
But whenever it comes down to performance and how impressive it was, far more impressive on the ladies' side than the guys' side. I did feel for, I don't know if you saw, but the Korean team, what is it, Tom Kim and Ben An? That was heartbreaking. They were playing very well, and they just couldn't get the job done. If they medaled in the Olympics, they would not have to do a mandatory military service. And if they don't get a major or that by the age 28, they will have to do mandatory Korean military service.
Yeah.
So that was kind of heartbreaking on that side. I have nothing wrong. Again, I don't mean to make this. This is not a political podcast. I actually don't see anything wrong with mandatory civilian military service, but it is kind of heartbreaking whenever all they had to do was win this or a major, and they both came up short. And especially whenever they're both playing really well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? That is heartbreaking to see because you do root for them. You're like, oh my God, like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not rooting for them against USA. I'm just saying, as an athlete, you kind of
get a bronze.
Yeah, they can get a bronze. Give them that bronze medal.
Tie for.
I don't want Wyndham. I don't want Wyndham winning bronze. I want Wyndham going home with his tail between the legs. Give it to Tom Kim or Benon. You know, not give it to him, but wish they had won it. So, but it is. I do wish, and this is again unpopular opinion. I really think it would be a lot more of a toss-up if they did men's worldwide amateur. If they did amateur.
I was lied to. I was told that Wyndham Clark finished inside the top 10. And he did not.
No, he played like crap.
Well, he played terrible the first day.
Yeah.
He played much better the rest of the way, but he still finished T14, which is not inside the top 10, I would like to point out.
Yeah.
So, you know who you are who told me that, and you know you're a liar, and I don't like you.
Well, Wyndham Clark sucks. I hate him. I hope he is happy. I don't hope he's happy. I hope he's the opposite.
I was about to say, I don't.
So, anyway.
I have no desire for that.
I have no desire for him being happy.
But yeah. Xander Schauffele finishing T9. He was in the conversation to compete for the win until very
repeat,
late.
Right? Because he won last time.
Exactly.
That would have been a repeat. That would have been cool. I wouldn't have minded that.
Yeah, that would have been a hell of a year.
It really would have. That would have been sick, dude.
That would have been a hell of a year for him.
Well, I mean, it still is a hell of a season. You got to admit, he's playing really well.
No, for sure. I'm just saying it would have been like, oh, he's got 2 majors and an Olympic gold medal. Like, that's pretty sick year.
Sure. I agree with that.
But
I agree with that.
What did he do the last day? He didn't do anything. He folded on the last day, shot 73. While everyone was going low. Yeah, 62 in the final round for Scotty Scheffler to win by 1 over Tommy Fleetwood, who shot 66 on the final day.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Did you ever find out if Charlie Hall was able to smoke on the course?
I don't believe she was allowed.
Yeah, I don't think she was either, but it was just
she
kind of funny.
Needed a dart.
She needed the darts, dude. So Charlie Hall, this was before the Olympics. She was asked by a reporter, she said, yeah, I do smoke on the course. What was it? It's a habit, but I won't do it this week. Yeah, just something I do. And then the question.
These are all just choices.
These are all just choices.
These are choices that I'm making.
That's right. Yeah, that's a very political statement. And then she goes, and then the reporter asks, why don't you do it this week? And she goes, I don't think you're allowed. That was her reasoning. It wasn't because, it's the Olympics, I don't want to do it. It's like, I don't think I'm allowed to do it. And so
that's a perfectly reasonable, yeah.
Yeah, and then next question was, will that affect you? Does it help you? She goes, yeah, I think it will, because it relaxes me a little bit, but it is what it is.
Yeah, dude, trust me. When I don't get the nick, bro.
And then the reporter kind of in jest, the reporter goes, I thought the French would allow you to smoke. She goes, hopefully, yeah. That's awesome.
I would hope so too, man.
Well,
come on.
Let's smoke.
All the French people do is smoke cigarettes and spit all day.
Yeah. Yeah. You smoke and you spit. And you make fun of the way we say croissant. And it's like, you guys mispronounce our words all the time. Like, it's not the bus, it's the bus. You know, if you want me to pronounce croissant right, you got to pronounce bus right. You know what I mean?
Nope. All right.
What? I'm not wrong about this. I'm not wrong about this. They get all in a tizzy. You haven't seen these memes online where they get all in a tizzy about us pronouncing French words in an American accent?
No. Okay. So what I found the most fascinating thing ever. Okay. This is the most fascinating thing that I've ever experienced. It's like, I don't even know how to like wrap my head around this. Is this one-sided beef between Australia and the United States? Have you been seeing this?
No.
Australia
has a problem with us?
Yeah, they're like, oh, early on in the Olympics, they're like, oh, the U.S. is changing how they do medal counts and saying it's all medals instead of just golds because Australia is beating them in gold medals right now. It's like 3 days into the Olympics or something. And it's like, guys, why are you so mad? Like, we know who's going to be on top at the end of this. Either way, you can count golds, you can count silvers, you can count bronze, you can count whatever. It doesn't matter. We're going to have more than you. So stop talking.
I didn't know this. That is fascinating.
Crazy. It's fascinating. It's like, where did Australia like find it in themselves to get beef with the top dog? You're not even on our radar, bro.
I mean, if we're being fair, they were a convict colony. So they were actually like, they sent prisoners there to colonize Australia. True story. It's a British
prison colony.
Prison colony is what it started out as. So,
Australia.
Fun fact: Australia's full of
riddled with
convicts.
criminals.
That's right. They're all criminals. Every single one of them.
Australia is a land riddled with criminals.
Yep. Yep.
But no, yeah, that one-sided beef has got me in a like crazy. And then it was that argument. It's not total medals, it's gold medals. Then they shift the goalpost again and say it's medals per capita, and it's like, okay,
dude, if it's medals per capita, I think when some African country win, you know what I mean?
You'd think it'd be like Kenya or something in like the steeplechase or something,
or
like that.
maybe even like an island. You know what I mean?
Monaco gets one medal.
Yeah, exactly. They get one medal and they win the per capita, you know? They win per capita. That's wild that they would say per capita.
Yeah, no, dude, if you keep shifting the goalposts, it's finna be an away game, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's wild.
But especially after US women's rugby beat Australia women's rugby, it's like, guys, that's your national sport.
Which is nuts, by the way.
That might be the most incredible Olympics moment of all time. Winning on the last second like that against Australia in the bronze medal match.
Well, I didn't watch it, to be fair. It's women's rugby.
You watched the replay, though.
I did watch replays. I
watched that replay several times because it's just like, it
is wild that they lost. And that's their national sport. That's what they're famous for. That and Australian football, which nobody knows how to play. But yeah, dude, how do they lose in rugby? Like I would have thought either South Africa or Australia would win, and Australia lost to the U.S. in rugby. Blew my mind.
It was women. What did
How far did you see how far South Africa went?
Shot. Oh, that's women. Oh my God. I was about to say no shot. U.S. beat them in rugby again, but we did not, sadly.
No, there's no way.
No.
So what has been your favorite? Let's talk about this. What has been your favorite Olympic sport so far to watch?
My favorite Olympic sport is always track and field.
Yeah,
that's
multiple sports. Track. Can you narrow it down?
I think one of the most incredible things I've ever seen was either in the. Oh gosh, it's tough. I've seen a couple races. The men's, I believe it's men's 1500 meter. An American guy beating the top two guys in the world.
Oh, that last second?
Yes.
Dude,
gassed
gassed it.
And then also in
It was wild.
in the men's 400, another like same thing. The American guy who's the favorite is like fading, and he digs into his soul and somehow comes out on top. Like it's
so great
crazy.
seeing that.
He's like, it's almost he catches up and takes the lead so fast. It's almost like everyone else is moving in slow motion.
Yeah, maybe
Like
they
it's
were.
crazy. But
Maybe
then
they were.
also Katie Ledecky doing the women's 1500 meter.
That-
It's not fair.
So that was the cool. I mean, I'm not gonna lie to you. The Katie Ledecky stuff is just blows my mind.
Like that's a
how good
crazy.
she is. Yeah. If even Michael Phelps, if what other people consider the GOAT of swimming, if he's saying no, I don't hold a candle to her, you better start listening. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
She
dude.
is.
So like it's
She's a fish. She is a fish. I'm pretty sure she's not human.
so Zane, listen to this. Listen to this. So Katie Ledecky set the 8th fastest time in the event on that day. She holds the top 20 fastest times in the women's 1500.
It's nuts.
She has literally in her career swam around the world.
Dude. It's nuts.
Like in terms of miles, she's gone around the world. That's crazy to me.
I was astonished Sha'Carri Richardson didn't win. Her 100
Sha'Carri
meter.
Richardson, yeah, that was a little disappointing. I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
I wanted.
What was it? The Ivory Coast won it?
I can't remember. Well, shout out to Noah Lyles bringing a gold in the 100 meter for the first time in like
Yeah, that
30
was cool.
years.
That was cool. That was really cool. That's awesome for him.
He brought out he got all 5 pieces of Exodia and
Yeah.
won the 100 meter.
Yeah.
So
Please
awesome.
don't do Yu-Gi-Oh references. Thank you.
He uses Yu-Gi-Oh references, so
I
it's
know.
relevant.
Don't do it. I know he does. You stop right now.
Okay. So we got some catching up to do. Let's talk a little bit about the British Open. Obviously, we mentioned it earlier. Xander Schauffele taking it down 900 par, 2-shot victory over Justin Rose and Billy Horschel. So the Open.
Did you get to watch that final? Did you get to watch?
I did get to watch the final round. Yes,
That is awesome.
it was great.
Great final round. Very kind of neck and neck the whole way until the end.
Yep.
Then he kind of ran off and
Separated
hid.
himself. Yeah.
Separated himself within the last 3 holes, I believe. Last 16, 17, 18.
Yeah.
And it was just it's one of those things it's one of those tournaments that you love watching because everybody's in it until the end. Kind of like whenever Tiger won at the Masters in 2019. Everything was neck and neck until 16. It was kind of that same kind of deal. So really cool watching Xander. And like I said to so many people there at Golf Club, he's just, as a Z, and I think as a Z for yourself, I think we're willing to let him in our club, because it pronounced as a Z, so I'm willing to let him in the Z club if you are.
No, he's got to be a Z.
No, he's definitely in the Z club.
He's an X.
He's close enough.
No.
He's close enough.
He's not in the Z club, dude. Come on.
He's close enough.
You're giving out cards like it's nobody's business.
It's not Xander. It's Xander.
It's not a Z.
What's a Z sound? I'm counting it.
I'm not.
Well,
who impressed you most was I think I was, even though he lost, he came in second place. Justin Rose really impressed me in this event.
Yeah, absolutely. I think his his late kind of comeback there was beautiful. Yeah, I agree. And he's older now. He's not as young as he used to be. He's been playing really. Who are you looking at? Is that Louisa?
Fiance, yes.
Oh, okay. But he's not as young as he used to be, but he still nails the ball.
Yeah. I like how aggressive he was late too.
Yeah, hitting pins.
He was trying to win. He wasn't playing to finish second.
Well, I think they all do that.
No, but you understand what I'm saying? Like some guys later in their career are like, they don't necessarily go for everything. They're like, well,
I don't know about that, Zach.
I do.
I don't know about that. I don't know about that. I don't believe that for a second.
Okay, that's fine if you don't believe it.
It's
true.
the British Open. He's he is from Britain. He will try and go out there and win it.
That's fair.
That's their Open. That doesn't surprise me at all.
Not anymore. It's not back-to-back American champions.
USA.
Who was the
Right.
champion before Harmon? 2 years ago?
Who was the champion before Harmon?
Let me see.
British
I'm gonna get it
champions.
first. I'm gonna get it first.
Are you?
Yeah, sadly. It was Cam Smith.
Oh, that's right.
Yep.
They had their convict Aussie win it.
Yep. At St. Andrews.
Yep.
Um.
Thank God Rory did not win that.
No, I know.
Thank you, Jesus. Thank you.
Every day Rory doesn't win a major is a better day.
Him and Wyndham, right?
Him and Wyndham Clark, dude. How many more? Do you think Wyndham Clark wins another major?
I wouldn't put it past him. But here's the thing. He's fading. He ain't as good as he was a year ago. I'm just saying.
I don't think he wins another major in his career.
Do you think he fades? Do you think he fades entirely? Starts missing cuts?
I think he's a one-hit wonder.
You think so? So you think it's like one and done? He's gonna fade from existence.
I don't think he's gonna fade. I don't think he's gonna fade completely out of existence. But I think he's gonna be like a guy
like a Jason Duffner.
Yes, Jason Duffner, Keegan Bradley, those guys.
Like Keegan's had a resurgence.
He's had a resurgence, but he's not winning majors.
Duffner's never really had a resurgence.
That's
Lucas Glover did have a resurgence. I was going to say Lucas Glover, but Jason Duffner's definitely if he fades, that'd be the kind of.
I don't think he's going to fade into obscurity, but I don't think he's ever going to get as high as he was at one
I didn't
point.
say fade into obscurity.
I think Jason Duffner's faded into obscurity. The only time I hear Jason Duffner's name is when Ricky talks about playing with him in cash matches at
Really? That's the
in
only
Jupiter.
time?
That's the only time I hear Jason Duffner's name.
Really?
Yes.
He played at the final qualifying. He didn't make it. He played at the final U.S. Open qualifying down in at Golf Club of Georgia.
So what I'm hearing is exactly what I said.
No.
He's faded into obscurity, dude.
I was saying that he played.
That's fine.
Final
He won
qualifying.
a major. He won a major. That's like the pinnacle of golf. He doesn't need to do anything else.
I mean, I agree with you. I just don't understand the shade of playing in a final qualifying.
It's not the playing in the final qualifying. It's the.
It sure sounds like it's the playing in the final
No,
qualifying.
it's the failing to qualify.
That's pretty impressive going into a final qualifying. I mean,
I'm not saying it's not impressive. I'm not saying he wouldn't smoke me on the golf course. I think he would. But I'm saying, is he going to be anywhere near the top? No.
Okay. All right.
I would. Nah, I'm not going to do it.
What were you going to say?
It's about to get way more disrespectful, so I'm not going to do it.
Watch your mouth, dude. He's a good. I feel super bad for him because of what happened in his personal life while he was on tour. That's just crazy.
Well, I don't even know about this.
Look it up. I don't want to say again. I want to keep it respectful. It's a sad story, bro. It's a sad story. But yeah, just look up what happened with Jason Duffner and his wife. It's sad. I feel for the guy. You're not finding it?
I'm reading.
It's pretty sad, dude. It's pretty sad. But anyway, so let's talk a little bit about what everybody's interested to hearing about. Who qualified. Again, I can't be too elated. I played like crap in the Georgia Open, but so me and Zach, we we were both trying to qualify for the Georgia Open this year at Valdosta at Kinderloo. And we made a bet. Did we make a bet on here? Was the bet on here?
Oh, no shot. Oh, my God.
You're finding
Oh, my God.
Yeah.
I just found out. No way.
Yeah.
How is he still on the PGA Tour?
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Yeah. Dude, it's wild, man. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, my God.
Okay, you can't keep doing this. Like, you can
I'm
do this
sorry.
later.
That is so shocking to me. I
you
can't
can do this
believe it.
later. You can
Oh
do this
my
later.
God.
You don't need to do this now.
What
You
a
can do this later.
scumbag. Not
Yeah.
Jason Duffner. Not Jason Duffner. Let me be
No.
very clear. Jason Duffner is not a scumbag.
No, Jason Duffner.
There's another individual who is,
Yes.
and you could probably guess
Yes.
because he's been known as a scumbag for quite a while.
Yes. Yep.
And he
Yep.
may have come out with a really shitty line of golf apparel recently.
Yep. You know.
Oh my God. I can't believe that.
Yeah.
Dude,
That
what
actually
the
happened.
hell?
It makes you feel really bad for the guy. It's like, holy crap.
No wonder he fell off.
Yeah.
I would have fallen off too.
Yeah, it happened literally right after all that major stuff happened. I believe.
That's crazy.
Nuts.
Anyway,
right?
we're Georgia Open.
Yeah. Dude,
That's gonna
follow. Get back on
to
it.
recover.
Get back on track here, Zach.
It's gonna take a while for me to recover.
First
from
off,
that
okay,
information.
well, let me help you.
Mhm.
Did we bet it on the program? Did we bet it on here about the qualifying or no?
I'm not sure if we bet it on the program, but we did bet it.
So we bet $50, which he still hasn't paid me. Paid $50 qualify, like who would qualify for the Georgia Open.
Mhm.
And Zach decided to play in, and to his detriment, he decided to play in a course that he'd only played how many times?
Once.
So he went to go play Pine Tree, which is far more difficult of a golf course. You've also got probably a lot more players out there that are of a certain caliber than us, if we're being honest. And then I played at Chattahoochee golf course, which is far easier. You can lose it a lot more places off the tee. And I was able to shoot 1 under. I was 4 under on the front 9. Really kind of collapsed on the last 2 holes. Went bogey. And
kind of
then
a
Zach,
theme.
yeah. Shut up, dude. You didn't even make it. You can't talk. You didn't make it. You're a failure. I'm just kidding. You're not a failure. But kind of are. But so much easier Chattahoochee.
Yeah.
So much easier Chattahoochee. And there were a lot of college golfers playing in that one too. But I would imagine you played a lot better players than yours.
I don't necessarily think so. Like I think I said, I don't know if I said this on the podcast, but I definitely told Zane this several times. I didn't need to go out there and shoot a crazy low number.
No, because what qualified? 5?
3.
3 over qualified. It was nuts.
Yeah, 3 over was an alternate.
2 over.
I think the last spot. So there was like a 6-way playoff for like last spot in, and then 3 or 4 alternates.
Yeah.
And then 1 guy was left out.
Yeah.
So yeah, 3 over. I thought I had to shoot a round even par to qualify. I didn't know exactly what the number would end up being, but I was like, even par should be in. And it would have been. It would have finished second place.
Yeah.
Qualifier. So Pine Tree, I will say this about Pine Tree. I don't think, number one, I don't think Pine Tree is an insanely difficult course. It is much tighter off the tee than Chattahoochee. But given that it makes up a lot of its distance on par 3s and par 5s, I wasn't too worried about being accurate off the tee because I'd say I hit 8 or 9 drives, like with a driver all day. There was a lot of holes where I didn't need to hit driver, and in fact, a lot of them I didn't even need to hit 5 or 3 wood. I hit 4 iron on a few, just because they're trap holes. They want you to go for it. Like, it's very clear the course designer's like, this is reachable, and it is, but you got tight OB and all this kind of stuff. So,
sure.
My whole thought process was I just need to keep it in play, and I should be around even par, which was true. The problem is I made a couple dumb mistakes early on. Dumb mistakes.
Going for the green.
So on hole 1, hole 1's a par 4. It's downhill, like 430 or something like that. You can hit driver, but you have to hit bunt driver because there's water kind of right at the edge of driver distance. If you happen to hit a good one, you can end up in a penalty area. So I laid up, same thing I did last year, hit 3 wood off the tee, gave myself about 134 uphill. And I had it in my notes. Don't come up short of this green. It's the only thing you can't do. You can hit it long of the green. You cannot come up short. It's an impossible up and down. You're hitting out of a bunker with about a 10-foot face, straight uphill, tight pin to the front. So just don't come up short. Come through the pitch and wedge because it's way more club than I needed on the shot. Slightly open club face. It's like a little push. Obviously, when you open the club face, it increases the loft. It's not going to carry as far. I come up short. So I come up short. Don't get up and down. 2 putt for bogey. Going into hole 2. Hole 2 is a par 5, which is reachable in 2. But I had in my notes, I said, unless, very, very specific, unless you hit the perfect drive, this is a 3-shot hole. Hole 2, not my first driver swing of the day, but my first driver swing on the course. I absolutely pipe one. Perfect. Right down the middle. I could not be in better position.
This is the one you told me about.
Yes. Yep. Could not be in better position. I'm in the middle of the fairway, flat lie. It's 250 uphill to the green. It's 250 uphill into the green, and into wind. So I'm like, okay, I can hit 3 wood. If I come up short, that's fine because there's just this big hill there. Because I'm like, 250 uphill, or it's like 250. I can't remember the exact number. It was just above 250. It's like 254 uphill into wind. I'm like, I might be able to get it there. And if I come up short, that's okay. So let me just smooth a 3 wood, and I'll be fine. I fly the green OB out of bounds. I fly the green OB.
What you just can't do.
Yeah, you just can't hit a 280-yard 3 wood off the ground.
You can't. You just can't do it.
I didn't think I could either. Which is why I pulled that club, because I was like, wow, I hit the perfect tee shot. Out of bounds, end up making double bogey on the hole. So not a great start. 3 over through 2. Next hole is a par 3. Downhill. It's tough par 3 though, because there's a lot of trouble left. Just a lake and a hazard area and all this kind of stuff left. And you have a bunker short, another steep bunker short. So I'm like, okay, I'm going to play this right edge of the green and try and hit like maybe a baby draw, which is my natural ball flight anyway. And if it goes straight, it might end up just off the green. If it goes left, it's going to be fine. I hit the shot I was trying to hit. It went dead straight instead of drawing. So I'm just right at the green. Lip out a putt, take a bogey. So I'm 4 over through 3. And then on the next hole, I hit probably my one bad. I had a bad drive. I pushed it. I put myself in a bad position. Tried to punch it up and roll it up at the green. Doesn't happen. I hit my next shot from about 40 yards maybe to about 10 feet. That putt lips out. I take another bogey. So I'm 5 over through 4. At this point, my head's kind of spinning. I'm getting frustrated because I'm like, I got to get something going. I got to make a par. Like I just got to make a par.
And ladies and gentlemen, by frustrated, Zach's losing his mind.
No,
that's what he means.
Yeah. I'm not losing my mind.
That's what you do whenever we play, though.
Yeah, but that's casual. In tournaments, I'm far more focused. I was just getting frustrated. I wasn't so like in casual rounds I get much more angry than in tournament rounds. Which doesn't make sense to even me.
No, it doesn't.
But so the next hole I hit a little bit of a one to the right. I have to kind of get creative to try and get it up to the green. I end up putting it in a greenside bunker, hit that bunker shot to 3 feet, make the putt for par. And that would proceed. That is the start of where I made 12 pars, a birdie, and a bogey, and shot even par the last 14 holes of the round. And shot 5 over for the round after starting 5 over through 4 and missing out on a playoff to get in by 2 shots. So I'm not, I talked about it after the round with both Zane and I talked to my dad and everybody. And I was like, I'm not even that disappointed with the way I played. I'm just, I'm frustrated with how the start went because I knew I had it in my notes what I needed to do on especially the first 2 holes to get off to a good start. And it was clear after the round got going and after I started this streak where I stayed at even par the rest of the way that I just needed to get that first par and the rest of the round would have been much smoother going.
Oh yeah. I will agree with that 100%. Finding that rhythm early is what really separates an easy good round from trying to struggle to shoot good numbers.
Yeah. So
yeah.
But so I think the shot that really cost me not to qualify was the second shot on 1. I think if I hit the green there or even go long, I think there's a better chance that I qualify. Just because in my notes, I literally had don't come up short. It's like the only thing you can't do is come up short of that green.
Why did you write a negative? So let's talk a little bit about the psychology behind this. Why did you write a negative in there into that statement? If you wrote don't come up short.
I don't have my notebook with me. I don't know if I wrote it down exactly like that. I just knew the only thing I couldn't do was come up short. I was like, I could hit this 20 yards long of the green and I'm fine.
Did you use the do not?
I don't remember.
Okay, one thing, and again, this is just something, and I'm sure we've talked about this.
I don't think I use do not.
It really helps to use positive language. And I don't mean positive. This is what people will misunderstand. I don't mean happy-go-lucky. I want to make birdies. I don't mean that. I mean like there's a difference between saying do not go short and if anything go long, because then your brain is it's going to get caught on that last thing it heard, which was long or short. So your brain hears short. It's the same reason you don't on the tee box say I can't hit this left, because your brain is just thinking left, right?
I think
the thought has to be I want to. It's either obviously the best way to think about it is I want to go there.
Mm-hmm.
The suboptimal solution to the complex problem is if anything I want to miss right. Does that make sense?
I think I said Mrs. Long, I think was the quote in my
if you said Mrs. Long, that's good. But
I think that was exact word. Mrs. Long is what I had written in my notes.
If you said that,
because I knew the course pretty well I knew the course pretty well. There wasn't a hole that surprised me because I played it before.
You're not just saying that for the audience, right?
No,
you definitely didn't say that early on. You said don't miss short.
So I'm not just saying that for the audience.
Okay.
I'm saying that for the podcast because I knew my only miss I couldn't have was short.
Okay.
I could miss right. I could miss left. I can't miss short. I knew that.
Sure.
But I think in my notes I wrote misses long.
Mhm.
And I knew off the tee my approach would be about a pitching wedge, or a pitching wedge or a gap wedge. So I think I even wrote 3-wood pitching wedge. I even had the right club combination for the hole. It's just a misfire on a wedge that you just can't happen in that situation.
Sure.
So
I get that.
That's my round. That's how I didn't qualify.
Yeah.
But all in all, I feel like I played well. I think that the toughest part of that course, the reason why no one shot, I think the low score that day was 1 under par. I think the reason why no one shot better than that is they might have been rolling the fastest I've ever played on.
Really?
Yes.
What were they rolling?
I don't know what the stimp meter was. They didn't tell us.
They didn't tell you it's stimping?
I know that they double cut and rolled with a heavy roller morning of the tournament.
Whoa. So this thing was like rolling at least a 12, right?
At least. And down grain.
Forget about it.
It was stupid. It was stupid. I hit a couple putts that like we played Horseshoe Bend Monday. I've hit a couple putts that like if I'm hitting a 5-footer at Horseshoe, a 5-footer like flat putt at Horseshoe, and I was downhill, down grade, that would have gone 25 to 30 feet. I'm not joking. I hit a couple putts that I took maybe this far back from for like a 20-footer.
Whoa.
That was why no one scored well, because it was one of those things where it's like
I've never played out there. Are the greens super undulated? Is that why? Like we're talking hills? Are the hills like very steep?
They're pretty undulated. There's only a couple like really tough green complexes.
Okay. Because I don't. Again, it just depends on the steepness grade, right?
Yeah.
A golf club has a lot of holes. 9, for instance. If you're on the back tier and those greens are rolling fast, it's November or September. Those things can get 12, and you just can't stop it down the hill. There's just no chance, no shot.
The same thing with Horseshoe at 9. The previous time we played, Horseshoe. 9,
yeah, that hill in the middle can get.
If
ferocious.
you're on the backside of that green, it's like you can't do anything.
Can be ferocious depending.
You just
on where
hit it and hope is what you do.
Yeah, especially a front right pin on that green at Horseshoe.
Yeah.
Because you literally, and I mean this.
Mean it literally.
I mean it literally. Have to aim. If I'm on the right tier, I have to aim to go up the hill. I literally have to aim to off the green to get that thing to barely miss the fringe and have that thing just go down the hill, and even then I'm going to be past the hole.
Yeah. I mean, it's one of those like it wasn't so bad into the green because it's Bermuda. It's not it wasn't so bad.
No, but what kind of Bermuda is Pine Tree? Like was the grain playing much of a factor? You make it sound like it was.
It was playing a decent factor in the speed. It wasn't affecting the line a whole bunch.
Well, if it's affecting the speed, it's affecting it.
Because here's the thing, because like on putts that were like the same grade, like uphill versus downhill, so like, you know what I mean? Like same grade uphill versus same grade downhill, the difference was pretty significant. But if I had a side hill putt, it was. How
easy was it to see the grain around the cup? I guess
pretty easy.
Oh, okay, so we're talking not champion Bermuda. This was probably Tip Eagle or some kind of hybrid
something like that. Because and also I don't think the double cut made it really easy to see it as well.
On champion, that wouldn't be the case.
Okay. Well, I'm saying that those are some of the fastest greens I've ever putted on,
I
if
believe
not
you.
the fastest.
I believe
Because
you.
I mean, there was a couple that I'm like, I don't know. Like, there's a couple like even uphill that I was like, I don't know. Like on like a 15-footer uphill side hill, like I don't know how to hit this putt.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm basically the reason I think no one shot better than 1 under is I think, well, at least for me, coming down the stretch, I was trying to make birdies, but also I knew if I bogeyed, it was over. You know what I mean? Like 5 over, I only finished 2 shots out of it.
Mm-hmm.
And I had the idea, because I was the first group out, I had the idea that the scores were not going to be low coming in. So I was like, I can't bogey. I need to birdie. When I got to 5 over, I was like, I need to try and get it back to 3, and then maybe I have a chance. It turns out I was right, but like with a couple of putts I had for birdie, like they were slightly downhill. So if I like get aggressive with that putt, I could leave myself with a 7-footer coming back. And it's one of those things where it's like the 7-footer coming back, I make bogey, I go to 6 over. It's far less likely I get back to 3.
Sure.
So I had to be more cautious with birdie putts than I normally would be, which I think cost me. I'm going to say it cost me at least 2 shots. Because there were a couple birdie putts that were just like slightly downhill, down grain. And I was like, okay, I'm going to try and hit this soft to keep it around the hole. And they still rolled 2 feet by. It wasn't like they were coming up dead even with the hole. They still got past the hole, but it's just like one of those things where like, I would hit this putt a lot harder if I was at even par right now.
Mm-hmm.
I'd take a more direct line and I'd hit it harder. But
yeah.
But yeah, that's the story of me trying to qualify at Pine Tree. I expect to be back next year, and I expect to make it next year. So,
well, I hope you do. I hope you don't pick Pine Tree. This should be a lesson to you.
No,
play courses you know.
So here's
even
the
if
thing.
you say stupid things like, "Oh, I don't play it well," play courses you know.
I've played Pine Tree now. Currently, I've played Pine Tree 1 less time than I played Chattahoochee.
That's your problem. Chattahoochee's way closer, a lot cheaper to play.
Also, I think Pine Tree sets up better for me. I still believe that, even with me shooting 5 over.
Ladies and gentlemen, he's just high.
I legitimately believe
the
Pine
reefer
Tree sets up better for me.
The reefer is controlling his mind, and he needs to stop.
Why do you think I believe that?
I think you're crazy. That's why I think you believe that. It's better for me.
It does.
5 over. Zach, you could have easily shot 5 over at Chattahoochee. Like easily shot. You should have easily shot at even par at Chattahoochee.
Maybe. I've never.
If you were playing well, you could shoot even par at Chattahoochee. No doubt in my mind. None.
Yeah. I play that course so poorly. It's such a frustrating course. It's not hard.
That sounds like it's not hard. Chattahoochee's not hard.
I just can't.
You just got to be smarter. You just got to be better. Be better, Zach. Be better.
I'm trying.
Be better, Zach.
On the bright side, Zane did qualify.
I did.
Tell us how it went at the Georgia Open, Zane.
Why didn't you ask me how it went at qualifying?
You already said you shot 4 under in the front, kind of fell apart on the back, but you shot 1 under, qualified, and you're in the Georgia Open.
Yeah, I think you're doing this on purpose just to, like, ruin me.
I'm wetting it on purpose?
You're doing this on purpose.
Oh, doing. I thought you said something else.
What could I possibly said?
The audio will pick it up. I'll post the clip. You're canceled.
Yeah. No, I said doing very clearly. That was not even close to anything else that could have even been remotely derogatory. No, the Georgia Open, it was a beautiful course. The greens were beautiful. They were kind of healing up a lot of them from a punch that probably took place about 4 weeks ago. I didn't ask. So they were a bit bumpy, but they were fine. I mean, I'm not going to complain about that. If putts fall, they fall. I was putted great the whole weekend. The whole Thursday, Friday. Didn't make it to the weekend. And the reason I didn't make it to the weekend is because I absolutely lost my ability to hit the ball off the tee, which, as Zach knows, is
not
typical.
A weakness.
That's not a weekness. Putting, yes. Putting, yes. I would say chipping, yes, probably sometimes. Driver or tee shots, definitely not. It wasn't even that I could just take a 3-wood. This is how bad it was. The 3-wood shots were even going awry. And so that's what made it hard to even adjust. I had 5 birdies day one, and I still shot 79. I shot 84, essentially the same round without the birdies, the second day. And so I just because I did have a lot of lip outs that second day, but I just couldn't get a feel. Like once it left me, it just left me completely, and I couldn't get a feel for the shot. And it's
Are you still working on your driver?
Like right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was working on it today, and it was at me and Jaron Good, one of the coaches one of my fellow colleagues there at the Golf Club of Georgia, were working on it. It was going fine. Zach knows we played out at Horseshoe. It was kind of a ride there too. Mm-hmm. I mean, it was just there are some holes where I hit it great, and there are some holes where it is really hard to control where that ball's going, and so it hurts. Shot 77 out at Horseshoe. The very next day, I had an okay round. I still had a couple bad tee shots. I shot 73. So that really is right now the only missing piece of the puzzle. It's just making sure I'm in play. Not even in the fairway, just in play, not losing golf balls.
Okay. What do you think my biggest weakness was at Horseshoe?
When we played, let's see. I think if I'm thinking back to it, I think you are really bad at self-talk. I think your entire game, and again, I don't mean this in a bad way. This is a lot of people struggle with this. I struggle with it. You know that I struggle with this. You are very bad at being the best caddy for yourself. Okay. You do a very poor job at like talking yourself up, getting yourself psyched up for shots. And then once you fail at executing the shot the way you wanted to, then it's like hate on Zach. I think that's terrible for the.
I don't remember most.
I saw your comment. But
that's what I heard. By the way,
it's not what I said. So anyway, I think you are very bad at talking to yourself. I think you need to get a lot more courteous, a lot more. You need to be a lot softer on yourself. I'm not saying you can't say that was a bad shot. I'm honest with myself whenever I hit bad shots. The thing I'm very good at, especially even in tournaments, which, again, I was very good at it this past weekend, is I'm very good at saying, okay, shot's done. Let's hit the next shot. Great. The other thing I'm really good at is if I put myself in a bad position, I'm very good at telling myself, hey, this is a fun shot. I get a chance to wow people. I get a chance to hit a great shot here. And I try not to make that into get super aggressive like old Zane used to. Yeah. I turn that into like, okay, let's think of the most high probability shot here and let's execute it. And let's kind of show people that you're good. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's the way I talk to myself. What a lot of people will do, I'm not saying you do this, but what a lot of amateurs will do is they'll hit a bad shot. And this is why you should do this exercise with juniors if you're a coach out there. They hit a bad shot. They go to their shot in the rough. And then they're already down on themselves. So, Zach, what do you think the likelihood of them hitting the next shot great is going to be?
Low.
Very low, because they've already told themselves, I suck, I suck, I suck, I can't believe I'm here. Instead of telling themselves, okay, I'm here. Let's try and hit this shot the best I can. Let's think this through. Let's try and get this the most high probability, the most high percentage shot I can hit here. Let's do that. Let's execute. Let's show these people I can play good at golf. But it is definitely not the default for most golfers. Most golfers will see that. They'll go, I hate what I did there. I suck. Let's try and get out of trouble. They won't tell themselves anything to pick themselves up before they hit that next shot. And the exercise that you should do with your players, your juniors, college students, whatever, is you should just go on their playing lesson. If you're doing a playing lesson with them, you should go take some balls of theirs. Don't even tell them why you're taking the ball. Say, all right, give me a few balls. And then on the first time they hit a bad tee shot, or the first time they put themselves in trouble, or no, not even then. Not even then. You go to the play, they hit a great shot, and then they hit their neck. They're going to hit their next shot. They hit a great second shot. Take a ball and chuck it into the woods or chuck it into the high rough and say, all right, that shot doesn't count anymore. I need you to play from here. Zach, what do you think their mindset is whenever I chuck it into the rough?
I don't know. Tell me.
Their mindset's definitely not, I suck, because they just hit 2 great shots. So they know they're good. Mm-hmm. So their thought process is, I got to make do with what I have. Mm-hmm. And then they just try and hit a golf shot. Yeah. They're much more likely to hit that shot well than and again, statistics will prove me out on this. They're much more likely to hit that shot well if you did it over a large sample size than if they themselves hit the shot there. If you just took all their bad tee shots and you just looked at where their dispersion rate was, they'd be a lot closer to their target if you just threw them in the spot than if they themselves hit it to that spot.
Gotcha. I think my issue is proximity to hole ball striking.
Of course, you bring it to something technical.
I think that's my biggest issue.
I don't.
I think off the tee, I was pretty good. In fact, I think that's right now one of the strengths of my game, and it really comes with kind of what you're talking about. I talked to you a little bit about this on Monday, a change of mindset on the tee. Sure. I know I'm not the most accurate hitter off the tee. I know that. I don't have a super consistent ball flight off the tee. It'll fade sometimes. It'll draw sometimes. But I know that at least right now, my tee shots are going pretty much in the direction I want them to go. Pretty much. There's some variability there, but they're going pretty much in the direction I want them to go, and I'm hitting them pretty good contact-wise. So right now I'm aiming the widest spot of the fairway at my landing zone, like my distance landing zone, that arc. And then I'm hitting the shot and then making do with what happens. Now, if there's like trouble left or trouble right or this or that, I'll adjust that arc and I'll aim it away from that. And if I hit my miss, which is on certain holes, if my miss is right, I right now I have a 2-way miss with the driver. So I got to see a little bit of it, but it never put me in terrible shape off the tee. And it's just a change of mindset. We're like, I don't have to be perfect off the tee. I'm swinging pretty good with the driver right now, so I'm just going to keep swinging pretty good with the driver and playing the spots that allow me to, have a shot at hitting the green on the next one. I think the thing I struggle with most right now is it's a very similar thing with my irons as it is with my driver, in that contact-wise, I'm really happy with where I'm at. I don't miss the middle of the face very much. contact with the ground's pretty great. I don't chunk it very often. I'll thin it occasionally, but I'd rather thin it than chunk it.
I will say this. So I do, now that you're saying the technique thing, you need to get better at understanding how certain lies affect your golf swing. Because I remember thinking that on like hole 8. Like you're making good swings, but you were setting up the same to nearly every lie.
Hole 8, hit a good drive.
Hey, you were fine. You were fine. I'm just saying you hit the ball a little left and short, right?
Yeah.
Left and
but
short.
that's a terrible example because I set up differently to that one.
Okay. Well, anyway, I just remember you.
I tried to play a shot there, and I should have just hit a normal shot.
I remember specifically thinking, like, why is he setting up that way? May not have been hole 8.
It had to have been a different hole because
you do need to get better at setting up with different like lie angles. It's like whether that be downhill, uphill, side hill, ball above feet, ball below feet. I think that would help you a lot. I think you put yourself in terrible situations because of that. Case in point, 18.
18, I was trying to win the match. That's different.
No, that was a setup thing. I remember saying I wasn't going to say it because you'd be pissed, but I remember thinking like, why do you do that?
Which one? The second one?
The second shot? Yeah, the second shot.
What did I do there?
You didn't angle your body with the hill? You had a downhill lie.
Yeah.
Your shoulders were like this, working way against the hill.
Oh, okay.
Instead of, they'd probably be flat if you're playing with the hill.
Yeah.
The hill's like this, so your shoulders would probably be flat.
That.
Normally that would have helped a lot. That would have helped a lot. It would have added a little cut on it probably, and it would have been a riser, and you could have probably gotten there with that. But yeah. I did notice that.
Okay.
Yep. So just being smarter about that, I would definitely help you. But I honestly, all in all, it's got to be the mental game. It's got to be the mental game for you.
No, I think my mental game's pretty decent. I mean, I get occasionally frustrated, which I think everyone
understatement of the century, bro.
I get occasionally frustrated, which I think everyone does. But I think I think the main thing for me right now is I have to figure out what I'm doing with the irons because I just don't have. I mean, I don't have a consistent shot shape. Like I aim at my target, and it'll be. Sometimes it'll fade. Sometimes it'll draw.
Sure.
Sometimes it'll be a pull fade or a push fade. Sometimes it'll be a pull draw or a push draw. And it's just not super consistent. The distances are pretty consistent. And I'm pretty happy with that part of it. The contact's really consistent. And I'm happy with that part of it. But directionally, I'm directionally challenged is what I'm trying to say. I'm directionally challenged with an iron in my hand. And it's frustrating.
I think a lot of that is, I think it's in the setup. I think it's the setting up for different shots. I think you should challenge yourself this week. Again, I know you're probably not going to do this because I'm your brother and you hate my advice.
Yep, I do hate you. I mean, your advice.
Yeah. I think it would do well for you to set yourself up on different lies and just hit shots. And just see how that lie affects what that ball's doing.
Well, I know how different lies affect the
I
ball.
know you understand that, Zach. I'm not saying you're an idiot. I'm not calling you a dumbass. I'm saying that it would help for you to practice it. I know, like as a coach and as a player, I know what's going to happen. I think it would help for you to practice those things.
Okay.
So that in competition, kind of like L18, you don't make the mistake, and it's just a mental lapse. It's just a mental lapse in judgment. You don't make the mistake of angling your body the wrong way, so you top the ball. Well, you didn't top it. You kind of you kind of topped it.
I almost topped it.
You hit a skull.
It
was a skull of skulls. Yeah.
Not quite a top, but it was close.
You made enough contact for that ball to slip across water.
Zach made par.
Yeah.
Zach made par.
Zach did make par. Good on Zach.
It was a hell of a par, too.
It was a good par. It
was a hell of a par after a top.
I vouched for you there. So.
Or a near top. It wasn't quite a top. If it was a top there, I wasn't making par.
No. No.
Because it would have gone in the water.
Yeah. Yep.
I skipped it across a creek.
A very small creek.
A very small creek, and it barely skipped.
It just needed one skip. That's all he was praying for. Just give me one skip.
Yep. Please
give me one. Come on, Skip.
Please go.
Come on.
Give me one. No, I think I'm feeling pretty good about my game. All in all, I think it'd be the good thing about my game right now, because I'm accurate enough to not lose balls. It would be really hard for me to shoot a score worse than 80. But because I'm not accurate enough into the green, it's really tough for me to get under par, which is a weird spot to be in.
Yeah.
So your boy does hit nukes, though. Zane saw it firsthand. Zach hits nukes.
Yeah. I hear you. All right. Well, that's all I know. Zach loves talking about his long stuff. But anyway, thanks guys so much for joining us. We really appreciate you guys for tuning into the program. By the way, that's hilarious that Pat McAfee, if you've ever noticed the little Chiron, I love his show. If you ever noticed the little Chiron, it doesn't say program, it says program. GRUM. It says program. It's pretty funny because that's how he talks. Anyway, thanks guys so much for joining us. Please hit up the merch on Zach, you're gonna add the link to this, right?
Oh, it's all linked in the description down below, buddy.
Linked in the description down below. And thank you guys so much for joining us. Please tune in next week. We're usually filming every Monday night, Zach Reisman. And if you get a chance, get your ballsy merch. Get ballsy with it.
Why? It's not ballsy.
We are ballsy here at Beerly OB.
It's not ballsy.
We like getting ballsy. Anyway, so thank you guys so much again. Zach, do you have anything to say to the listeners?
The only thing I want to say is, it's not ballsy. That's the first thing I want to say. It's not ballsy.
It's definitely ballsy, bro.
The second thing I want to say is, look at this beautiful hat, this beautiful shirt. If you want to look like me,
oh my God,
then check out 366.com. Use my affiliate link down in the description. Get some stuff. They've got shirts, hats, all kinds of stuff. You can also use code TEEDOFF15 to get 15% off your order. They also have shorts. They have pullovers, all kinds of stuff. And it's great over there. So make sure you check that out. 366.com.
Don't do it.
They're dedicated. 366 days, 8 days a week.
I don't get anything from it.
25 hours a day.
Don't do it. I don't get anything from it. Don't do it.
All right. Thank you, everyone, for watching or listening. We'll see you next time.
Peace.
Didn't do it dumb.